What is going on there, guys? How you doing? My name is Pone. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys enjoy Division content, be sure to click the subscribe button. That way you can fast travel back here anytime you like. So, I don't know how I feel about this information I'm about to give you guys. We have some confirmation on a few fixes, a few balances, a few nerfs, and of course, what these things are going to ultimately do to the meta is not a very good thing. So, I think there's some good and some progress to be revealed in this video, but I feel like the bad kind of outweighs the good in this situation, so I want to explain that here in a minute. So, the state of the game addressed a few things, help us understand a little bit more towards what is coming in 1.2, so I'm going to break down the general information they gave us during that stream. They have increased the Phoenix cred cap to 2,000. This is great, but if you're like me, within the first week, I had nothing else to blow it on, so I've been sitting at 1,000 for a month now, so I don't know what this is really going to do unless they come up with some more unique ways to spin Phoenix creds. This is still not going to really change anything at all. The toughness trait is coming to combine health, armor, and stamina into one stat. This is going to allow people to realize, oh hey, I got this piece of armor, this is an upgrade, just to make things a little bit easier for you. We also know that the armor cap is being increased to 75%. This is highly exciting as it's probably the most influential thing to stat in a character build, at least in my opinion it is. Performance mods are getting a buff. This is something they felt like they needed to do, seeing as how you're sacrificing a few potential rolls on your armor. You need to make sure these mods are better, and they're already one of the best ways to stat your character up. So this is exciting to see where this evolves into. New gear sets are being added. Very vague information given to us, but what we do know is these gear sets are supposed to be involved with actual weapons themselves. So anticipating a gear set that's going to revolve around auto-firing weapons like assault rifles and SMGs would be a great thing. We also have had rumors of Juggernaut and all these other things coming, which is great because we haven't had a defensive set to come to the scene quite yet either. So lots of things should be coming in that area. We know that balanced, reckless, and brutal are getting nerfed. These are weapon and armor piece talents. Confession, I had no clue brutal was working wrong. I just always thought headshot equals boom, and in fact it was working by multiplying instead of adding to what it should be, and it was broken all along, and I had no clue about this. But either way, it's still going to be a really solid talent to have. It's just going to work as intended. And this leads me into the last one for this page. The Sentry's Call talent Stalker is being nerfed as well. It will only work on semi-auto weapons, shotguns, pistols, and marksmen. I think there's one or two assault rifles that are in the game that double as a semi-auto. Not sure if that's going to roll, but who knows? This is overall a scary thought for a lot of people, and I will address all of these changes here in a minute and talk about my concerns. Now that you've had the bad news, let's move on to the worst news. Weapon balance will not be coming in 1.2, meaning weapon balance is not coming in 1.2. This is terrible news. I believe they had teased that this was going to be coming, but I think they came to the realization they do not have enough information and numbers and stats out there because, well, everybody's only been using the same weapons, M1s and SMGs. Nobody knows exactly where to place the assault rifles and other things, so instead of them gambling and trying to guess where it's going to go, they're going to wait until this new update comes in and more people are using other weapons. Really? This is not a good move. This is not going to change anything because people aren't going to be using these other weapons because SMGs have such a distinct advantage with crit hit chance that until those extra attributes like crit hit damage are added to assault rifles, you'll never know where they truly stand. So this is something I'm not very happy with. Gear score will not be increased in 1.2. Neutral about this, don't really care to be honest, which is perfectly okay by me. New Incursion is going to be mirroring the Falcon Lost requirements or recommendations, which means because of no increase on gear score, it's going to have the same requirements that Falcon Lost had. So ultimately, anybody that can do the hard Falcon Lost can do the hard new one coming out. Anyone that can do the challenging Falcon Lost should be able to easily attempt the new one coming out. So that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that one. We also know that the 1.2 announcement has been postponed. Now, this was information they chose to share with us. This is something I think is overall a good thing. They probably plan to announce it this week, which means they are very close. They could have chosen to not release the fact that this is being postponed. They could have withheld that information because they've never given us an actual date, but they chose to tell us this, and this is a good sign. I think this is a good thing. Most people are going to look at it like it's a bad thing, but if you want to make sure this game's working right and balanced and proper, you gotta have a bit of transparency, and they're still doing a great job in that field. Now, my overall opinions on this. I want to talk about my beliefs on balance. You may not share these, but I want to get these out there and just open the scene for you. I am a firm believer in balance. If something is not working the way the developers intended it, I want them to fix it. Despite how amazing I may think it is, or how useful it may be to us, the players, If it's not working how they designed it to work, it needs to be fixed, period. Because that's the way the game was intended. So with this, you cannot effectively pick and choose. Now, most people are going to look at these stats and say, oh my god, I can't believe they're nerfing sentries. How am I even going to do challenge incursions? That is the right question to ask. You have realized that Sentries has become a necessity to complete things like challenge mode. They're nerfing brutal and reckless and all of these things that have given us a little bit of an advantage so that we can tackle challenge mode. And still, there are millions of people that have not been able to beat it because it's that difficult. So I'm already, me personally, who's been capable of doing it. I have all 204 and 240 items. I'm sitting at gear score 222, and I already get mowed over by shotguns. This is a problem. The fact that they're balancing things for the player base, but they haven't brought down the strength of shotguns, even though the community has asked for it from launch, is a situation. The time to kill is going to drop dramatically. This is 45% slower. Most of us are going to be capable of killing. Brutal is being nerfed as well, which means this is also going to reduce the time to kill and the effectiveness. So with all of these coming together, which I said I firmly believe in, they also need to balance things in other areas to make sure that it's not that big of a deal. And this is my ultimate concern. I am already afraid to attempt a new challenge incursion if all of these things have been done and nothing has been done to balance the strength of the NPCs. This is going to create a major rift in the community, and from what we know, if these gear sets do not deliver and allow us a freedom to take on these new incursions, they're going to be damn near impossible for most console users, and I'm not all for that. I'm already against the fact that they lock the best gear in the game behind something that takes 45 minutes to complete, and one single mistake from any person involved can force a restart. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. You guys take care.